And then Mike calls me and he tells me that I'll be nominated. Which category? Best Gospel Artist in Africa.
Yo.
DNG, Summer Hell. So I win. So, okay. I got this nomination. I didn't even understand what this nomination was about. I asked him, okay, so what do I do? He tells me, you've been invited to go to South Africa. I'd never left the country. It was my first trip out of Kenya. I didn't even understand, okay, how do you go to South Africa? How do you get a visa? Yeah, I'm straight from and green, yani. So by the time I'm saying, like, we need to empower this youth, man. These are some of the soft skills you gotta learn, man, because this is life.
Get a passport.
Get a passport.
Yeah.
Whether
or not you know you're going to fly, get a passport. In fact, if you're watching this, just get yourself a passport.
Yeah, so I got a passport. I went to apply for the visa with my mom. That time, obviously, I don't have a job. So you're riding on the visa application based on your guardian. So they have to attach bank statements. Kuna tu procedure pale. Fast forward, we had to pay for our own flights.
Oh, they made you pay for your flights?
Yeah, we paid for our own flights, though they gave us accommodation.
Yes.
I was accommodated in Holiday Inn, Santon. Very nice hotel. Bro, let me tell you a funny story. I went to the washroom. I check into reception and you go to the washroom.
Did you go solo? You went
with my mom.
Okay.
And there are no taps, bro. The taps like this. So I couldn't wash my hands. Bro, the tap was a sensor.
Yeah, automatic.
I didn't know. This is 2000 and, is it 4 or 5?
Yeah.
They are, I think 2004. Culture shock, bro. The doors are sensors as well, so the doors are card. So I'm asking the receptionist, where's the key? Saying, that's the key, sir. Culture shock of the highest order. I landed at Oliver Tambo International Airport. There's an Alsatian German Shepherd on my bag, searching for drugs. Like South Africa at that time was really crazy. You pass through an armory, crazy stuff. Like, it's an experience that I can never forget. It was on South African Airways, being served food in a plane. It's like, I don't know how many hours flight, strange stuff. But anyway, South Africa, they treated us real good. We had police escort, limos. So I walk into this arena. Even I didn't even know what to do. Like, even when I was buying my outfit, I bought those nice African shirts, from Isili. So my boy called Ian Mugambi, big shout out from University of Nairobi at the time. He told me he had this mama in Isili. Chile used to sell clothes, like a family business. So that's how we got to know that you can get Masai shirts at a good price. So I bought that. I bought a flag. So if you see that video of me holding the trophy, I have a nice African shirt and a Kenyan flag. So they sit me at the back, bro.
Did you think you're going to win?
No. They sat me at the back like I was a nobody, bro. So like the kind of artists who are there were Angelique Kidjo, Malaika, Mafiki Zolo, Heavy. Kora at the time was like our Grammys. It was the biggest award
on the continent.
Perhaps I don't think there's any award that has come close. Maybe Afrima.
Yeah, and no, I didn't even say the Mamas, not even Afrima.
Yeah. And you see, Okora also had a cash prize.
Yep.
So guys were winning cash for each category.
Yep.
So they sit me at the back. I'm sitting with like different people from all over the world. I don't know them. Sometimes it's my mom, and then you're on a table. So in this table there are other people. I remember in the plane I was with Lady JD. So of course I'd heard of Lady JD. I'd read her on the newspaper. Those are the days kusoma gazeti haikuwa ya nyama. Gazeti ilikuwa gazeti. So I'd read the Pulse magazine, and I'd read about this Tanzanian artist and Ugandan artists who are balling.
Mr. Nice,
Mr. Lady Blue. JD, Mr. Blue, Professor J. But we follow each other on IG. I like his pics, likes my pics till today. And those are some of the early artists that I had been exposed to from a success perspective. Like Lady JD was on the Pulse early, buying a brand new car, four-wheel drive, and a brand new house.
Yeah.
So I knew that music is something that can assist you to succeed, that you can thrive in this game. So I did not know how, but I knew like this someone big. So in the plane, I'm with Lady JD, and we're talking and we're interacting, and it was very amazing, to meet such a big name at that early in my career. So they sit me at the back. We're eating all sorts of food. The first serving was salads. It's 5 course, Baba. So me, I'm like, where are they bringing vegetables, Baba? Where's the meat? Then there's like a small nyama in the cold meat. They sell salads and the cold meat. Bro, disgusting, Baba. You know, I'm get from Gumo, Baba. Where's Kenyatta Market? You know what I'm saying? So anyway, they call my category, and the winner is DNG. So I don't even think I had my name. Then they call me twice. So I'm in shock. Shock kabisa. I had no speech, nothing. And they call me and I wake up and I hug my mom, and such an amazing moment. And I start walking. So I'm walking from the back, bruv. So the chick with the trophy has to wait for me to come all the way. And the auditoriums in Johannesburg are huge.
Massive.
It's like KICC times 4. Massive. And there are many stages. So there's this stage giving this award, there's a performance here. So they keep switching because it's a live event broadcasted across the continent and the diaspora. So I go on stage, they give me my award, and I say my thank yous. And that's my moment. And funny enough, this show was so big that it was being broadcasted live on KBC. It's when I say it's the Grammys of our day, for real. And it's across continents. So it's on Francophone Africa, It's Anglophone Africa, it's all over the place, man. And it's such a big deal for Kenya. It's such a big deal for the industry. Before myself, it's only Eric Wainaina and Henry Ntuku, who had won a Kora in the year 2002.
Nema, did she win in the same year as you?
No, later.
She won after?
Later, yeah.
What?
So my year...
Bro, you're at day one.
Yeah, day one.
People need to know this.
So I won a Kora in 2004. 2004 Kora Award winner. I'm a Kora Award winner, not a Kora nominee. Big shout out, Big Pin. So there was myself, Big Pin, and if I'm not wrong, Achieng Abura. We won the same year, and in different categories. So I won the Pan-African Gospel Award, not for East Africa, not for Kenya,
Africa,
but for Africa.
Yo,
it was such a big deal. I won $5,000.
But they didn't give you the loot at that time.
They didn't give me the loot at the time. It came later.
Yeah, were you like, hey bro, am I leaving here? How am I getting my loot?
Yeah, even I didn't know. So Mike Strano was assisting me with that. So any questions I had, I'd go to Mike.
Yeah.
Because Mike was the convener for our region.
We need to give a big shout out to Mike. I was also nominated for Kora. Yeah. And Mike Strano is one who literally facilitated this.
Yeah.
Dude even flew with my submissions all the way there.
Yeah.
And the reason why I'm saying to big him up, because he took his time for you. This is your first song.
Yeah.
You get? This is your first video. Video called Dark Juika Nini.
Yeah. Yeah,
you
man.
Get? So he went out of his way.
We never used to learn. We never did 3-point lighting.
Nada.
It was one pakan. Those pakans are kitambo, zile za orange.
Yep. But at the same time, I have to big you up, because look at what your faith did.
Yeah.
In terms of you just deciding, I'll do what I can with what I have.
Yeah.
And look at it, takes you all the way to Kora. Because without a video, you could not submit yourself for Kora.
It was one of the requirements. And you know what is about faith? I believe, even as we have this interview, we need to also encourage those guys watching the show. Because sometimes we limit ourselves because of maybe our economic background, whether we've come from a poor background or whatever, or we don't have the connections, or we don't know what to do, information, knowledge. Let that not be a limit, because the Bible says and said to, I believe it was Moses with the staff. Was it Moses? With the staff? Yes. Yeah. He told him, what's in your hand? And it was a staff. So a staff is a rod. It's ile kijiti Masai wanatumianga wakitembea tembea, because the background of that economic region was farming and pastoralism. And with that staff is how he set his people free. It's how he parted the sea. It's how
He ate
He
a snake.
struck into water, yes, and all that. Read the Bible, folks. Get to know, because God gives you something. Even with my program Hustle Yako, which we'll talk about later, I tell young people that you may not have capital to start, to produce, to hire a camera like this and all that, but you yourself are a resource. God has given each one of us an innate ability, gifting, a skill set of some sort, and it's up to you to identify it. It's up to you to figure out what it is and use that. So for me, yes, I went out in faith, and I remember praying, because before Korah now, I was trying to figure out like how. I've no experience in the international arena. I don't know anybody. How am I going to do it? How am I going to take my brand to the next level? How am I going to create a career? And then, there's this song by Hillsong, Ask and I'll give the nations to you. Oh Lord, that's the cry of my heart. And that song struck gold for me, because when you ask, believe, you will receive. And so I went out there in faith, and God did his miracle. I remember the newspapers would write really disheartening stuff like little known DNG wins Korah, little known, like a nobody. Yeah, I was a nobody,
but I won.
Yeah, in people's eyes.
Yep.
But my favor doesn't come from man. My favor comes from God.
Yeah, that's deep.
It's always come from him, and it always will. So sometimes people look at me and may look down upon me. I may not come from money per se. I may not come from, I don't know, whatever people expect today, but my favor is from God. My anointing is from God. It's the reason I've achieved everything I've achieved, and the reason I've been sustained in this industry where a lot of people have come and fizzled out is because of God's favor. And beyond God's favor, if you add the hard work, the discipline, the work ethic, consistency, and continuous, evolution, because you have to keep evolving with the times, then you can sustain a brand over the period. And I give glory to God for that. And I came back home, and that's when my career really started taking flight, because now people will write about me in the newspaper.
Your video gets more play.
Yeah, my video would get more play. People will call me for interviews. I remember getting my first interview on Capital FM during the week, bro. Like, the show was by Pinky Gilani. Big shout out Pinky. She gave me my first mainstream interview, and my phone was ringing off the hook. Like, people could not understand and believe, like, DNG is on Capital FM.
You need to say this, because I don't think people understand what it is that you're saying. Gospel music was not played on mainstream
at all
media. It wasn't
at all. Like, my music was only being played on the Metro show, where Kubamba would jam. I think it was on Saturday nights. Can't remember the day. I think it was Saturday or Sunday night. Not quite sure. And then Hope FM and Family FM, right? And then comes the Stomp. So the Stomp put gospel music in the forefront because it was on NTV.
It was the only gospel show at that time
for music,
for urban music,
for urban music.
Yeah.
Because all the other gospel shows were, this is a Makwaya Zinaimba, KBC, River Road. My music was very different.
So did you get played by Pino on the beat? Nada.
Never. I think the only thing Pina's ever played of mine was
with Kolo.
Maybe not even that. I think it was Penzi. Once. Pina has never been a supporter of Kenyan music. I don't believe he has been a supporter. Pina has always been a very biased producer.
Yeah.
And a lot of artists talk about this, Pina would only play who he likes. And me, I've never been a butt licker.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't want to play my music, don't play, bro. I'ma still stand on you, man. I'm still stand on them. So I've never have to beg anybody to play my music.
Yeah.
I'd submit it to Nation.
You drop your
Center,
DVDs, yeah.
Whether you play it or not. I remember going to Capital the first time before I won Korah. The receptionist told me. So I asked them, "Are you gonna play my music? And when can I expect it to go on air?" I was always those guys asking questions and pushing the boundary. She told me, "Listen, if we play your song, you'll hear it on radio. If you don't play it, then we have not played it." So that's what she told me, bro. Fast forward, I'm on that same station. Pinky Gelani show. Favor of God is undeniable, bro, and it's unstoppable. Like people try and put for you vikwazo, either because of fear or because they just don't like you. But remember, you don't have to get people to like you. You just put out great content, put out great product. You have your space. You have a seat at the table, or you build your own table. You know, and so yeah, the beat has never really supported my career ever. But you know, there are many other shows that came up and that supported my career, and that's what's important today. That you know, one door might close, but 5 others open. You know, I remember beyond that, taking my music to Uganda, taking my music to Tanzania, going to East Africa television,
hold on, because we're going to get now. Because so now you come back, and then now, how soon does the $5,000 come in? Because at this time, let's be honest, you have one song, and I'm still confused. Kiki is not on the chorus.
Yeah, so let me. There's a story there, man. Very crazy. So I win the $5,000. I come back to Kenya. The money comes much later. I remember there was a time even newspapers were writing about it. These artists have not yet been paid, blah blah blah. So yeah, but the money came later, and it came all of it, though the dollar had changed. And ilikuwa imeshuka. I think dollar at the time when I was being paid was like 70 something shillings. So when you do 5,000, it was like 350. But at the time when I was winning, maybe the dollar was about 78, 80 shillings. So I could have made more by like 50 G's. But that is inconsequential, really. So I come back, and then people start demanding a share of that money.
Team
Rimbui demanded a share of that money, asking me for royalties. Yet I am my own executive producer. So somebody cannot ask for a share of your money if they have not contributed financially to that project. You see, if I was signed by a record label, say by Tim Rimbui, then he would have ownership of that song. But I paid for my entire recording, and I have a receipt. And I remember later, this story started happening, and I was like, I have my receipts. For all my music.
I know, in fact, I need to say that because you taught me this when I was coming in. You told me, hey bro, have your receipts.
Get your master.
Even
in the
when
US.
I come and buy your things, you tell me, where's the receipt? Give me a receipt. You get?
I
mean, you'd always give me a receipt when I buy your albums. People were not doing this receipt thing.
Financial prudence, man. And you know, you have to keep records. I have records from back in the day. Like there's a time this year I went to my mom's, and I was clearing out some old documents, like my old proposals, lyrics, vitu za kitambo ziko huko. And you know, it's you must have a way of keeping your material. Even like interviews, newspaper interviews from like 2006, I have them on record, hard copy. And so people try to take advantage of me. Do you know the lady who sang on that chorus, Paula, took me to court? She took me to court. I had my first court case at age 18. Kotini baba. Unaona songo wako kotini, mimi nilikuwa kotini bana. Affidavit nini? Wakili, retainer. So she said that she owns the song, same thing as Tim. She took me to court, bro. But you see, in my you see, you have to do affidavit. So how the court works, you file this. So somebody goes to court, files a case against you.
This is such a learning lesson.
Files a case. She went to court, filed a case against me, saying that she wants to do 50% of my money, and
like,
she contributed to this song, and she took me to court, and I was served, bro. Even I don't know where she found my address, but I was served. And I remember receiving court papers, and my mom is asking me, "What's this about?" And why am I being taken to court? So that time, you know, I didn't have chums, so mama had to get me a lawyer and all that. So we had to file back. So you have to do your filings and pleadings, and you know, I remember citing, like I have my receipts, like I paid for this song, I have 100% ownership. So it's very important for creatives out there to know that.
Thank God you had your receipts.
Yeah, you have to. If
it was your proof.
Yeah, ownership is king. Make sure if you're not on a record deal, pay for your music and keep those records, because at one time when you hit gold, now people come asking for that cheddar. So I remember people, you know, these guys would ask for this money, but they did not contribute. They're not shareholders.
What happened to that court case? How did it go?
Just thrown out. Just thrown out by the judge, because it had no legal basis. because at no point had I ceded ownership. At no point had she contributed financially. You see how equity works.
I get it.
To really be a shareholder, even in a company. Yeah,
she's not the one who wrote the
She didn't write the song.
You are the one
I wrote the song. I booked the studio
voiced
time.
it.
I paid for the studio time, the mastering and production of that song, and
If
everything.
anything, only you should pay her for her singing.
Yeah, and even in the video, she wasn't there. I got somebody else to feature, and that's why our folks had started somewhere.
Yeah.
So later, she's taking me to court. After all this has transpired, we've never shared a stage with her. She's never come for any show. Do you understand? People are greedy. Like
Bro, you were learning this at that, but I've been
18 years, bro, and I'm in court. So when you see me hardcore today, there's a basis, bro. Like me, I've seen everything. Name some I've never seen. I don't know what it is.
No, we're going to get the rest. There's a lot, but you see how slow we are going in this story, but I love it. So now, is this what leads to the transitions of her vocals?
Yes. So now,
let me also first ask. So what about with Tim Rimbui?
Yeah. So he also asked for a share of that money, but you see, he did not contribute financially to that song. So I paid him his wages.
Yes.
It's like somebody builds this house.
Yep.
You're the investor. Say I build this house, I get fundis to build for me this house. And I get a contractor and an engineer. They do my fittings and it issues. Then when I get a tenant to come and live in this house, that fundi comes and starts asking for rent. At what point is he an owner?
Yes, I get equity.
Equity. He did not contribute. Even if he had contributed a G and I put 9K, he'd have had 10%.
Yep.
But he didn't.
Yep.
I paid him.
And if anything, the one thing
the
one thing that Tim would own is production rights via Frisco or whatever.
Yeah. So now,
and by the way, that you get to work with later.
And those ones, they're there. You just go if you're a producer, you register with CAMP, as Kenya Association of Music Producers, and then you'll get your royalties as a producer.
Exactly.
If you're a vocalist, the same. So that's where they should have gone for their royalties, not to come for DNG's prize money. That is the mistake, but also ignorance is bliss.
So, I mean, like, dude, let me dwell a bit on this thing. What did this do to you? It hardened you, eh?
It hardened me because I knew not to trust people. So, and from then on, I've just been making sure that whenever I get into a deal, my contracts are 100. Do
you use lawyers?
No, I write my own contracts, funny enough. I write my own contracts. I study legal documents. Even for my divorce,
yes,
I wrote my own pleadings. Obviously,
you've got a lawyer
in tandem with a lawyer because of the citation of law that I may not know of. But basic legal engagement, I write my own contracts.
Bro,
and my contracts are very simple. You don't do jargon. I don't do jargon, man. Even when we are agreeing, you're booking me as an MC. My contract is maximum 2 pages.
Yep.
It talks about exit. It talks about termination. It talks about payment terms. JD. What else do you require? Indemnity, force majeure. I don't need to write for you 6, 10, 12-page documents, man. For contract, like what are we signing for? Like, bro, it's me coming to do a gig, man. Like, I'm not selling my house. If I'm selling property,
that's different.
It's different. Where you have to talk about your successors, title, LR number,
Yeah.
But here, bro, don't make it difficult. Even sometimes I get such contracts from clients, I push back. I'm like, chief, ndasoma tu. Nikiwa na wakati. Hey,
Hey, bro, let's go on with this story. Okay, so now this chick sues you. She's on the song. Is that now where you decide, by the way, you're chomokering my song?
So actually, it was a mix of that plus the fact that now even thereafter, Kiki would always have to sing over Paula's voice. So we recorded it so that we could get a performance track that would enable whenever I'm performing with Kiki, she can sing. We call it -1 or half life. So we have the track.
No vocals,
just supporting BGVs.
Yes, yep.
Yeah. So, because at that point now, I wanted to improve my performing, where when I get on stage, I'm not just singing over vocals. I want people to hear me rap.
Yep.
So my art started to evolve and transition into something better. And I felt like, I'm with Kiki all the time because of Kubamba Crew. So it was myself, Kiki, Giuliani joined, you joined, Jogsi, Gospel Fathers, etc. Sheila.
Dude, you're talking about before. You at this time, it was just you, Gospel Fathers,
Yeah,
Sheila.
yeah.
Even us guys hadn't joined
Joined yet,
Juliani.
yeah.
Because we joined after Mpenzi in that era.
Yeah. So we did it again.
So you went back to team?
Yes, we went back to team. Recorded the song again at Samawati Studios and packaged it. And then thereafter, we did now the remix.
How did the remix come? That was big.
Gospel Fathers. So I've always liked Gospel Fathers. In fact, when I got saved, now in December, during those holidays, I'd go for these Christian events. They were very big Christian events at the time. Things like Nairobi Cinema used to have very nice events for Keshas and stuff. So I watched Gospel Fathers and Jogsi perform, and I fell in love with their art. Like I felt like so wanaimba na Kiswahili manze. So wanaimba muziki tunaweza relate kama generation ya sai. And so we became friends when I joined Kubamba. So we interacted and we just had a conversation about doing a remix. And they jumped on, and Gospel Fathers was a big name. So I felt like, these guys have a lot of value addition with this track. So it catapulted it to the next level, and then we switched it up from like an R&B track to a bouncy hip hop beat.
And they were also under Innovator.
But
they were signed.
You see, like there was a record deal for me. I'm just I'm coming to pay and bounce. So I could work with any other record label or any other production house.
Tokuja kuwa shogoda okoa tu, kusamehewa tu, ni wewe ndani yako kuitikia tu, tunawapata tu, hivyo tu. Hebu wa show, labda mimi niko slow, wewe peke ndiyo tiba siyo siri jo, kuokoka nimeweza tunaweza jo, Allah come on, ni mwamba tu. Silazima niende hanye, silazima pombe ninywe, sila joints mungu nionekane, I know that I'm doing right. Nipe nafasi toka, niwape neno kwa haraka kabisa sitachoka. Be brother, Yesu yuko anabamba, bila vako akutaka. Hii ni remix DNG na mafathers au sio? Na mafathers, DNG na Eno. Allah. Mpenzi kweli Mungu ananipenda, alinisamehe yote niliyotenda. Usiseme kwamba huwezi kuokoka, kama niliweza wewe utaweza. Mpenzi kweli Mungu ananipenda, alinisamehe yote niliyotenda. Usiseme kwamba huwezi kuokoka, kama niliweza wewe utaweza. Nataka baraka zote manga nilizopewa nazo Father. Ngoja kwanza, Yesu kama Father nishampata, uliza mada lakini jua kwamba nishasamehewa. Mungu nataka unipe baraka, niwe nawe Yesu yawe nishasamehewa.
So you record this remix, it goes out.
Yeah.
What happens?
It's banging. So now we start sharing the stage together. And Gospel Fathers had amazing energy.
Crazy.
Big shout out Ken, Samu, and Kera. Really cool guys. And these guys, their energy was so amazing that when we were on stage, we'd feed off each other. Like, we used to have this thing in Kubamba crew called the Afrakata. Remember? So Afrakata is we'd go to perform in say a high school or a university or even prisons, bro. Because we've performed in Jela many times. Langata Women's, Akuru, Annex, Maximum, Naivasha, prison, etc. And just sharing the gospel of Christ. And before we perform or before we start, we do a cipher. So we get a beat, and there was this beat like by DJ Fresh that we always use. Ten, 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 ten. Hey, ten, 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 ten. So everybody used to come with their rap. So somebody starts, somebody picks, somebody starts, somebody picks, freestyle. That's fresh, nice. And then getting guys to it's like breaking the ice for the audience.
Yep.
And today, funny enough, that's what I do as a hype MC.
I know. In fact, when I see you on stage, I'm like, bro, the guys need to understand this guy got this thing from K-Crew.
From K-Crew.
Yeah.
Because Kubamba honed my performing skill.
Yep.
DJ Moz, we used to go to his house and he'd show us DVDs of like artists from foreign countries like the States, and we'd study performance. Like if you watch me on stage, now I work with, let's say if I'm working with a band, if I'm working with my DJ and I'm telling my DJ, pull up or pick me up, that's a Jay-Z thing. If you watch Fade to Black. So those are some of the guys that I used to look up to as excellent, exceptional performers, global stage wise. And I'd learn, okay, this is the technique. This is how you hold a mic. I never went to any art school, bro. I never went to any music school. I just learned on the job. Yeah. Like I need to engage my crowd. I need to connect. I need to relate. I need to communicate. I need to entertain. Then later, when I started doing MCing, I realized that the MCs who were there were comedians. So, you know, it was the KJs, the Nyambanes, the, etc. The Teds and the Big Kevs at the time. And I was like, okay, yo, big up what you're doing, but I don't think a concert is a laughing matter. And we need some energy. You know what I'm saying? Watu wamelipa. Usianze kusema mimi nilikuwa mdogo nilikuwa nafanya kwa concert na mtu amelipa tao. Chief, give me the music. DJ, pick me up. Let go, So I came in with my own style of MCing called hype.
It's you know what's crazy about this thing?
Yeah. Please allow me to have some coffee.
No, bro.
It's early in the morning.
Yeah.
By the way, I do this every day. I can't wake up without it.
No biggie. So it's so funny when I'm hearing you give the bigger perspective, because in K Crew, yes, you had energy, but there was energy guys like Lena, TMK. Remember them?
Yes, we used to do the TMK. It's called Kutimba. Kutimba ni ile dance ile.
Yeah.
Big shout out Timberland boots.
So this is where then K Crew was sort of honing that MC skill that would later become to known.
That had later commercialized.
And in secular or in this other world of corporate that you're going to enter, it didn't exist. This level of energy didn't exist.
Yes.
That's crazy.
And I remember when I told guys that I want to start MCing, people are doing hype. People are like, what's hype?